Urusei Yatsura was a monumental work that towers over the history of anime and manga, arguably the only other works that could be considered to be as important were Dragon Ball and Astro Boy. It was the first work that had the modern anime feel and look to it. Urusei Yatsura was a manga written by Rumiko Takahashi from 1978 to 1987. Urusei Yatsura was written at a time after manga and anime in Japan had been established as major mediums after the Tezuka era. It was the leading work of the 80s manga and anime boom that saw the medium continue to grow. Every work in Japan made after holds a huge debt to this series. It was the biggest work in Japan at the time, innovative and sensational, spectacular and outlandish with its wild comedy, fast-paced plots, and intricate characters. The manga premiered in 1978, but was published infrequently until the middle of 79, when it went into regular production. The anime premiered in 1981 and ran until 1986. In Urusei Yatsura, Ataru Moriboshi, the main character, is the boy with the worst luck in the world. When the Earth is threatened with an alien invasion by Oni, out of all the people in the world, he is selected to play a game of tag to decide the world's fate. According to Oni rules, they can only invade the Earth if they defeat a challenger in a game, so the fate of the world rests on his shoulders. Ataru wins, but the girl he beats, Lum, ends up falling in love with him after mistaking a mention of the word marriage for a marriage proposal by him. Lum ends up chasing Ataru everywhere to his chagrin. The alien Lum has electrical powers, and shocks Ataru anytime he does something that angers her. Ataru is extremely girl-crazy, and chases after any good-looking woman he meets. Because of Lum's alien connections and technology, he ends up getting into all kinds of wacky and bizarre situations. Mystical elements and creatures from Japanese folk legends are incorporated into the story, and are also the source of crazy situations and plotlines. The plot often involves Ataru getting into some kind of crazy situation or mess, Lum chasing after Ataru, or trying to get him to like her, and Ataru chasing after the attractive woman of the week. As the series progresses, the plot involves a myriad of interactions between a number of characters. The main leads are Ataru and Lum. Lum is an alien and a demon, or rather, she is of an alien race that has strong demon qualities. The other main characters of the series include Sherry, a monk that always seems to find a way to worsen whatever situation Ataru was in, and is always after a free meal. Shinobu, Ataru's ex-girlfriend, who frequently gets mixed up in his troubles. She's a typical girly girl. Shinobu was the rival with Lum at first, but later loses interest in Ataru and ceased to be antagonistic with Lum. Sakura is a Shinto priestess and school nurse. An extremely attractive young lady, she is Cherry's niece and a foil to Ataru. She has a stern personality and has the ability to exercise spirits. Shitaro Mundo is a super rich classmate and rival of Ataru. Smooth, noble, and refined, he's extremely popular with all the girls. He is from a noble lineage and wields a samurai sword which he carries all the time. Mendo, being rich, has a vast army of resources at his disposal, literally. Ran is Lum's childhood friend and also an alien. Ran is a succubus who has the ability to steal someone's youth and vitality away by kissing them on the lips. Ran has a schismatic personality. She often appears sweet, soft, delicate, dainty, and fine, pretty little girl. But underneath, she is vicious, forceful, loud, angry, and vindictive. She blames Lum for ruining her childhood and stealing her crush away, and vows revenge. Jarreton is Young's younger cousin, and has the ability to breathe fire. He is a bratty, mischievous little boy, and continually fights with Ataru. Ryanosuke is a tough-as-nails girl, raised to be a boy by her father. She wishes to be more feminine, but in part because of her upbringing, is unfeminine in every way. The strength of this series lies in its characters and the way their distinct and defined personalities play off one another. Urusei Yatsura was written by Rumiko Takahashi, one of the first major female artists in Japan, and perhaps the world. Urusei Yatsura was her first major work. Miss Takahashi has also written Meisei Naikuku, Mermaid Saga, Rama One Half, Inuyasha, Rini, and Mao. In English-speaking countries, Urusei Yatsura is not as well known as Ranma or Inuyasha, which is a shame because it's just as good as those series. The story comes together excellently. The art style is vivid and full, and the characters are written very well. Their personalities are built so fully, and their competing drives rub together well and make for excellent narrative. The stories are very funny and extremely entertaining, their twists and turns unfolding rapidly, revealing spectacular happenings. The plot, characters, intrigue, writing, and style work together so well. The anime was done by Studio Pierrot from 1981 to 84, and Studio Dean from 1984 to 86. While I think Urusei Yatsura's manga is one of the best ever, I don't think the anime is as good. The first half of the anime was directed by Mamoru Oshii, who also directed Ghost in the Shell. I think he does good work, but his style just clashes with Takahashi's. It's like pickles and ice cream. Oshii is all about dark existential introspection, while Takahashi is about wacky comedy and slapstick. Those styles just don't mesh together well, and the narrative of the first half of the series was awkward because of it. In the anime, a lot of the stories from the manga weren't adapted well, either the stories were completely changed, or even if the original story was kept, the padding added to stretch out a manga chapter into a 20-minute episode was just bad. In Ranma 1/2, for instance, the padding would match the original story and complement it. In Urusei Yatsura, the padding material would often completely clash with the original story. A lot of the time, they would awkwardly fuse two completely different manga stories together into one episode. And a lot of the manga chapters were adapted completely out of sequence. The animation quality starts out fairly mediocre. The progress of the animation throughout the series is slow and uneven. At first, it's consistently mediocre. Later on, it would get good for 1 or 2 episodes, and then be done back in the previous worst quality for the next 6 or so. The progress was very much 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The animation's good around episodes 81, 82, then it gets worse again. Episodes 119, 123, 124 are also better, but then the animation quality goes down again. The animation's finally done consistently good a majority of the time after episode 144. Overall, Urusei Yatsura is an extremely important work in the history of anime and manga. The works that come before it just don't feel exactly the same as modern anime or manga. Urusei Yatsura is the earliest work that feels like the anime of today. Urusei Yatsura is a great anime and fantastic manga, and you're missing out if you don't give it a try. I'd actually recommend reading the manga first, due to some issues with the adaptation. This is counter to my usual preference to watch the anime first and then read the manga. Again, this is because the adaptation isn't entirely faithful, and adopts a lot of the chapters out of sequence. As of the time this video was released, the series is unlicensed in America. It was licensed by Anime Eagle in the past, who released it with English subtitles, but the license expired in 2011, and it is no longer officially available. The manga was released in 2019 by Viz Media in English. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and let me hear your thoughts.